actually begun recording, so we're good.
Okay, so we're discussing Tamal Krishna Goswami for the biography that you're writing, or that you are revising or expanding.
Well, writing, putting together, as commissioned by his 3 trustees.
Right. Who are his trustees?
Shama Sundar, Mathuranath, and Yudhishthira.
Okay. Very good.
I think you know all 3, don't you?
Yes. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Very good. So.
Okay. So this is the thing. I thought we'd start right with your narrative.
Yes.
Of the academic. Of course, I want to hear about your relationship with Goswami from the beginning and then onward. But first, I'd like to go right to a fresh narrative, a complete narrative. Even more detail is err on the side of too much detail.
Okay.
About how it all happened when Goswami approached you.
Yes. I'll tell the story from the beginning of my relationship with Tamal Krishna Goswami in relation to academics.
That's exactly what we need.
Okay. So, of course, in 1991, I went back to college, which was the matriculation heard around the world, because I was obviously one of the main leaders in ISKCON then, and it was considered shocking and to some people dismaying that I would go back to, quote-unquote, the slaughterhouse, in the sense that, to use Prabhupada's term. And because some devotees ignored all the positive things Prabhupada said about culture and education, and that's what stuck. So, when I went back to school, the GBC were sort of alarmed, and then I began in September of 1991 at UCLA to finish my undergraduate degree. And then in, I guess, February of 92, February or March, I went to Mayapur for the GBC meetings. I was a member of the GBC, and so Tamal Krishna was a member of a special blue ribbon GBC committee that was formed to try to figure out how to deal with me. And so, because it was so startling that someone in the position I was in the highest spiritual position in ISKCON as guru, GBC, sannyasi, etc., should be going to school. So there was a knock at the door one morning. It was sort of like it was a scene out of the, I guess in Vedic culture you call it the Deva Pita, the Godfather. And there was a knock at the door, and there were all these big, all these like heavies there. There was Tamal Krishna, Harikesh Maharaj, and all that was lacking was a little rose in their kurta lapels and a violin case. And so anyway, there were several other senior leaders there, and they all came in, and they said, can we talk to you? We'd like to talk to you about this academic program. And so at that point, I was very inspired to make my case to everyone, the need for education in ISKCON, the need for educated devotees, for devotees to teach in universities, to start our own colleges and so on. And so I sort of passionately, or with much inspiration, made my case. And I remember, after I made my case, Tamal Krishna Goswami, he was very thoughtful. He looked around at the other members of the committee, and he said, I think we have a problem. I can't find anything wrong with what he said.
That was Goswami who said that?
Yeah, he said, I can't see what's wrong with this. And so then what the GBC did was, sort of like when someone's a heroin addict, they give them that lesser drug to wean them off heroin. So they said, so the GBC voted that we request Hridayananda Goswami to set up an Institute of Higher Education in Mayapur. And so I said, that's great, but the only way I can set up an accredited institution is if I first have a degree. So they threw up their hand. Anyway, so I went back to LA, went back to UCLA, and then
can we stop right there for a second?
Yes.
Can you state what were the objections on the part of the GBC that were raised in front of you? What did they challenge you with, and what ultimately did Goswami say? I can't see any reason why he shouldn't proceed.
To be honest, at that point, there was sort of an, how should I put it, an unreasoned assumption in ISKCON that good devotees or advanced devotees or devoted devotees just don't go to college. And there was this very strong view. It was basically a typical, cherry-picking Prabhupada, like taking a sentence here and a sentence there and ignoring ignoring many other things Prabhupada said. And the idea that when you come to Krishna consciousness, whatever you already know, that's enough. Then from that point on, you just study Prabhupada's books.
Right.
And yeah, that was the company line.
Right.
Ignoring the fact that Prabhupada's first instruction to me was to stay in college as a devotee and get more education. Same instruction he gave Ravindra, and of course you, Garuda, were the real pioneer. In terms of that was the point. ISKCON had never thought about it because it had always been an unquestioned assumption. Therefore, it was an unreasoned assumption. Whoops.